Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It is Wednesday morning, July 15, 2020. And the stock of the day, the number one thing everybody's going to be talking about, especially whether you're a day trader, swing trader, investor, is one that we could all kind of merge on today, and that is MRNA. Announced yesterday afternoon. I want to make sure I get this right. Phase 1 results induce coronavirus immune response. Now, I want to say I'm not fundamentally speaking about anything. I'm clearly clearly not a doctor, although I look like one sometimes. It was tested on healthy patients. So we still need to get to another level of it actually reverses coronavirus. So it's in play. That's the number one thing that's important for us today. It's going to have volume. It will very likely have volatility and should offer some 1 to 5 day opportunity. And I'm not even 100% saying it's definitely going up. What I am saying is that it's going to be in play and it should be on our radar today. So we're actually going to focus on how we're actually going to trade it, what levels we're going to be watching, what levels set up a higher probability trade where we can feel conviction and maybe even trade a little bit more size, especially if you can make some fast decisions. I want to point out two things from yesterday. Number one is we called out yesterday, especially if you're a day trader or you're looking to initiate a new trade, but especially if you're an active trader working from home right now and just looking for some extra cash flow. We pointed out yesterday probably one of the easiest trade setups to scan for on a daily basis, and the stock just basically slowly grinded higher the entire day yesterday, and just it was just a simple trade. There's no other way to put it. And you don't have to. My point is, you don't have to make trading complicated, but you do need to understand how to do tape reading so that you understand how to set up these ideas and then actually take advantage of them as a trader. So we're going to look at that stock in a minute. But what I want to talk about as well is the financials had news, obviously earnings, big earnings this week, Netflix in play this week, tomorrow actually. Let's stick with the financials a little bit today and into the next week because once they have a little bit of attention, they're actually tradable. Last earnings season, the guidance wasn't that good. It seems like they're kind of coming out on the other side a little bit now. It's going to be interesting because we don't care really as traders what the long-term investment outlook is in these stocks. We're really just looking from one quarter to the next. And really what we want is volume and volatility. Volatility gives us opportunity to make money. Volume tells us that institutions are in the stock on a regular basis, which gives us the opportunity to have those large green or red candles, quite honestly. But most of us are buyers, we're on the long side. And if we get those large green candles on a regular basis because of that liquidity and volatility, that's where we make our bread and butter. And that's where we're looking for trades on a regular basis. So the financials, although they closed a little bit lower yesterday, they are in play. So let's keep them on our radar. Let's give some attention. I also have another stock that I haven't traded in a while, haven't called out in a while, that's at or near all-time highs. That's not a technology stock, but it's actually the opposite of a technology stock. It's stuff that we do outside, and we're going to take a look at that as well. By the way, if you find these videos helpful, and especially if you made some money, leave a comment and let me know how you did. Let me know the stock. Let me know how it influenced you, something that we discussed. And definitely please subscribe to the channel. That would mean the world to me, and you get updates. If you really want to take it deeper, click the link on the bottom or in the description and learn more about the boot camp, because it would be kind of exciting for us to work together for 30 days and you see everything that I do while it's unfolding. So let's head over to the charts. Let's take a look at some opportunities and we'll put some pieces together for some good ideas. So obviously we're going to take a look at MRNA to start out. We'll go back to the market, but where are you trading the stock? What are you looking for? The last time the stock got up to $88, it kind of got slapped back down and almost got cut in half. In trading language, it got a 50% haircut. That's really going back to when I first started trading. I remember when somebody said that to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? That got a 50% haircut. We're at $85 right now. If you can see down in the corner over here, it's actually up 13%. Again, unbelievable news. But for us as a trader, we don't want to get caught in this melted candle nonsense. We don't want to get caught in this 3 weeks of nothing. Right now, we're actually doing something. And ironically, again, we keep talking about this over and over and over again, is these consolidations that lead to trend days. When you learn to spot them, it's not only a trend day now, you're talking about 64 to 85. That's $21 in 3 days. That's what it means to learn how to read the tape. The problem now that we're having is where does the stock go from here? Last time it got up to 88, got slapped back down, got a 50% haircut. We saw that in a lot of these stocks that are having massive moves to the upside. So here's the deal. The deal is we know 88's the level. 88 is where it got stopped out last time. Not stopped out, where the sellers came back in. Is this story different? Let's hope so, as far as a tape reading perspective. How do we know? What's the trade today? The trade today is simple. Buying this stock, if profit taking comes in and it's starting to trade lower, is incredibly difficult to do because you're going to end up catching a falling knife. And I hate to use cliches like that, but it's really the truth. You're going to end up following the stock on the way down. It's going to finally bottom out, and then you're going to have an opportunity to look to get long, and you're going to be stopped out. You're going to be angry, and you're going to see the stock up at $88 at the end of the day, or maybe even tomorrow. So this is really more a decision of if you're looking to swing trade the stock, I would recommend, and again, I'm not an RIA, I'm telling you from my trading perspective, my strategy, if it's a longer term trade and you believe in this and it has a chance to skyrocket, I would be working in order so that you allow yourself to maintain your position without getting shaken out and without putting yourself in too much harm's way in a big idea. From a day trading perspective, we know what we're looking for. We're looking for what we call a false positive trade where it opens lower, and if it pulls back, then we start to look for some entry signals. Specifically, we'd be looking for the stock to be well bid intraday, and then we'd look to add if it gets above the opening price. However, if it opens higher, punches into 88, we're probably going to see a pause up in that 88 level, which would mean it's above the opening price, and we can get a little bit more aggressive as long as that remains constant. Now, this is the place where a lot of traders get caught, a lot of traders get confused, and a lot of traders take losses, and they don't understand the difference between action and trading. They don't understand the difference between chart reading and tape reading. You need to know what the stock needs to look like in order to hold it so that you don't get caught if it starts moving in the other direction and you get stopped out. Not stopped, you should have gotten stopped out, but you don't because you didn't plan for it. So I just laid out the scenario of what it needs to look like if it moves in our favor or if it pulls back, but then you need to work the trade flawlessly if it moves in your favor or against you, and it could be a really good payday for yourself and for all of us over the next couple of days. So the SPY is interesting right now. It's been kind of stuck in this phantom zone. We've really been watching this 315.50 level for the better part of the last 7 or 8 days. We seem to have gotten back above it. If you're watching the market intraday, every sell-off that we've had, other than the one 2 days ago, 2 days ago, we've actually been finding a bid. And what's interesting is we got shellacked basically on Monday. Tuesday, we opened lower. It looks like the thing's going to crash, go back down to the lower end of this range. Buyers step back in, and we just keep melting higher and close on the highs. And now we're actually up again this morning. So this is tape reading. Tape reading is what should happen, what is happening, and what do I do with this? So now we're going to look at some opportunities. The one trade that I want to point out, again, this one idea is worth just paying attention and subscribing to the channel every day. We called a relative strength play in UNH yesterday. Now you can see it's got some resistance up here. It's actually lower today. That's not the point. We called it as a one-day trade with a much lower conviction level because of the tape, because there's no order flow, because there wasn't a lot of institutional commitment. It was a one-day play. And if you paid attention, if you took the call, here's what we got yesterday. A beautiful, beautiful slow grinding move the entire day. I'm going to use the word easy money in context, but here's the point. The point is I made it very clear by reading the tape, the odds of follow through, the likelihood of follow through, the conviction level in the trade was a one-day trade. We were looking to buy and hold to the close, and we got a beautiful trend day. So my point is, if you stick with us, if you watch the channel, if you take it deeper and go into the boot camp, you'll understand how to put these trades together, and you'll understand how long you should be holding the trade, how much share size you should be having in the trade, and when you should be booking profits based on reading the tape. It's down this morning. If you listened to us yesterday and said it was a day trade or buy here and exit at the close, it was a much, much easier trade, and now you're not sitting in a losing trade because you didn't recognize the conviction level was much lower, but it was an opportunity for the day. The other one we want to discuss today is Home Depot, believe it or not, kind of popping up on the radar with an increase in volume. And if it clears these levels, which it looks like it's going to do, as we've been saying with a lot of the tech stocks, any stock trading at all-time highs is a must-watch. If we get some follow-through here at all-time highs, super interesting that the country is still not outside yet, but this stock is trading at or near all-time highs again. Reading the tapes, something's changed. Another one I want to take a look at that's kind of in the same area is Lennar. We actually looked at yesterday and we said out of all the home builder stocks, Lennar is the one that I like the most because it's showing relative strength to the rest of the sector. And yesterday it produced a really big trend day and cleared the level that we were watching. So there's some stocks out there that if you're understanding how to do tape reading, understanding how to put the picture together, some stocks just flat out have better ideas than other ones. And those are the ones that you should be looking to size up and hold longer and really give it your attention. So some other stocks we're going to look at today, Run, believe it or not, we running, joking around a lot about it in the trading room yesterday. Run was running and it produced a really good day. So what's the next trade in Run? If you are looking to swing trade the stock, I would not be looking to buy a higher opening. If anything, I'd be looking to buy a lower opening to look for it to buy, to make a run, no pun intended. But because of the stock has basically more than doubled, well, actually, where'd it go? Basically from 18 to 34, now it's trading at 34.5, almost doubled in the last 2 weeks. I'd be looking for a pause on the daily chart to look for the next swing trade. But from a day trading perspective, I absolutely would be trading this if it meets that strict criteria that we talk about on a regular basis. The stock that we called out a couple of days ago, hopefully you've been watching it. We actually said it needs to clear this level of 29. We want to see it close above 29. It did last Friday, paused Monday, paid us yesterday. So you got to be on top of these. We call your tracking journal from one day to the next. I still like the stock long. If we're looking at longer term picture of the stock, it's got room all the way up to 48. So we got some room to go here. We just might need one more day to really feel comfortable. But yesterday in the watch list, it held this. What's kind of super, super interesting is this was the level. And this is, again, tape reading versus chart reading. What do I need to see? What don't I want to see? Obviously, on a breakout, you want to see well bid. It stayed well bid, which was higher highs and higher lows, but it closed on the lows, so not perfect scenario. So what are we looking for yesterday? We're looking for a lower opening. We're looking for it to hold the breakout level. If it holds the breakout level, that is what we want to see. We saw it hold the breakout. It produced a trend day, and now we're looking for some follow through as well. So a lot of stocks to pay attention to today. There is one stock on the short side that I want to take a look at, and that's Ross Store. Ross actually traded double normal volume yesterday on a breakdown, and the stock has a little bit of support down here at 74, which is still $6 away, and then all the way down to 56. If the market should happen to roll over, if this sector should happen to get some selling, so look at Dollar Tree and a couple of other stocks like that, Dollar General, this would be a stock that you'd be looking at to say, okay, the stock actually broke down while the market was strong. This is the opposite play of what we just looked at in UNH, where the market was weak and UNH traded to the upside. If the market rolls over, this is a very simple play to the short side. I want to point out, obviously, NVAX is still in play. The whole sector, obviously, now is going to be in play. Traded into an inside candlestick yesterday, a little bit of consolidation. We're looking for a breakout, kind of opening neutral, right around that 109, 110 level. Obviously, I still like it. But if you're watching the stock as we've been on a daily basis, 112 is the real level it's having a hard time getting through. So if we open around 110, trade up to 1, if you get a piece of that, and you're trading between 110 and 112, expect it to see a little bit of a pause up there, but be on guard. If it actually finally pops through and the market trades stronger, you can get a really solid trend day and make your week in just one trade. So there's two pieces to that trade, between 110 and 112, and then over 112. So be on top of that. What else we got? Oh, Caterpillar, actually interesting. This has not been in my list at all for the longest time. Yesterday, people kept calling it out. Boy, there was a lot of points made in this thing yesterday. Finally popped. I did not trade it. Full disclosure, it wasn't in my list, and I don't trade anything that's not in my list because I do all my game planning and then I look for a trade. So what's the opportunity in this stock today? Well, you can see clearly 140 is the level, and then 148, 150 is the next level. We're going to probably open up at 138. So not a lot of room if you're a swing trader. It'd be more starting a position up to that level. If you're a day trader and we kind of open $1, you still have $2 to go. It might be a fast trade for you in the morning, but nice job by everybody in the community. They called this trade out to me. Again, once you understand what you're looking at in that minimum criteria, then you start to pile on to the trade as it starts to unfold. So I believe it was Frank that called this one out yesterday. So nice job, Frank. So anyway, those are today's ideas. We got quite a bit to look at today. It's exciting that the market is opening higher. It looks like we're finally going to be out of that range. We are looking for a well bid day in the market. We're looking for higher lows, higher highs, and especially closing at the highs, which would really give us some conviction heading into the end of the week. So that's what we need to see. Let's see what actually unfolds. So you have those scenarios. And again, this is the difference between chart reading, tape reading, and actually being a trader who gets paid. You put these pieces together If they unfold, you hammer it and you make what you're supposed to. If they don't, you adapt, you make changes, you lower risk, you scale out, and then you look to settlers to get back in. That's real trading. Make that leap from chart reader to trader, and you'll be in a much better position. If you're just putting on trades and saying, I'm just going to set it and forget it and let it do what it's going to do, you're never going to learn how to trade. And honestly, that's the most exciting part of us in the community and being together, is really going through these lessons in real time, because you drill it home. There's so many good examples, and then we just kind of tie it together. And when you see people posting at the end of the day how much money they made or how many points they made, really, it's how many dollars they made during the day. It's just really exciting. So some good opportunity today. We're going to get some volatility today. I'd be really surprised if the market went dull and quiet today. There's a lot going on today, and be ready for Netflix earnings to come out tomorrow. So have a great day. Subscribe to the channel and learn more about the boot camp. Scroll down to the bottom. Thank you, everybody.